everybody, to another episode of the Can Manius Kill a Jedi podcast. I'm your co-host, Darth Celine.
And I am your main host, the Artificial Dragon, and welcome to the 76th episode of the podcast, everybody. At the time of his recording, we are getting more and more closer to 1K subscribers.
Where are we at now?
We are currently at the time of the recording of this episode, which is the 13th. We will have 919 subscribers.
Hell yeah.
So we're almost, I'll do a quick calculation in my head, 80-ish more subscribers left before we hit 1K, Hannah.
And we still need ideas for what to do with thousands.
Well, let's not be too hasty, Hannah. I'm still very hopeful that we'll meet 1K before the end of 2024, but who knows?
We'll see.
But yeah, for any loyal viewer or patron, feel free to give ideas for our 1K, celebration episode and what we could talk about. Personally, I am thinking we could do a a sequel to the Dark Empire trilogy.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
But sorry, everybody, no Mandalorians.
No Mandalorians. That won't happen until... I don't know, maybe 100 of episodes, or if we get more popular, who knows?
The 100th episode?
The 100th episode.
I wouldn't mind covering the Mandalorians for the 100th episode.
I know. I'm just mostly doing that to troll one of our certain patrons, you know who you are. But yeah, the Mandalorians are already popular enough as it is, so they're the least at the bottom of the barrel priority right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about me rambling on. Once again, welcome to the 76th episode. This is, once again, another Patreon selected episode. And if you saw the title of this video, it will be a pretty interesting one. But before we get into that, we're going to do a little bit of a shout out. Self-promotion, like we do in the intro section of all of our episodes. We have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/canmail. Once again, that's patreon.com/canmail. You could go to any tier, support us if possible. The Discord is open for anyone, so you don't have to go to the Patreon to access our Discord server. Join us. We have a nice little community in the making here where we talk general Star Wars lore, share memes, have a good time, and every once in a while, I might join the voice channel so you could interact with me and my co-host if she decides to come out of her little corner over there.
Hey. I'm busy tending a bar, thank you.
Yes, that is very true, Celine. But anyway, you might, okay. So as I mentioned before, this is a Patreon selected episode. If you want us to pursue or talk about a certain topic or character, you will get better results if you contribute to one of the highest tier patrons, which is either the Smuggler's tier, $5, or the Consular, $10. You have exclusive voting rights. I will announce the person who selected the topic of this episode, but we do it every single month, as much as we can anyway. But yes, support us as much as you can, and we can make more content like this.
And if it's tied, I am the tiebreaker.
Indeed. But speaking of special Patreon stuff, we finally have our month's art piece. I decided to go a little bit more patriotic since Veterans Day happened a couple of days ago. Yep. And the artist did an amazing job, but I'll let you take a look at it, Hannah.
I'm excited to see this. You haven't talked to me about this. So
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So yeah, we got a nice little Imperial recruitment / propaganda poster of a lovely Imperial officer recruiting you to join the Imperial military to kill some rebel scum.
Kill the rebel scum for the Empire!
And for this particular patron art piece, I will do a little bit of a shout out. The cosplayer that was referenced or used as reference for the Imperial officer is the cosplayer named Candy Ball. She is a very lovely cosplayer, does a lot of, stuff as a cosplayer.
Cool.
So shout out to her, and thank you for allowing me to use you as a basis for this Patreon art piece. So if you are interested in having this lovely lady, or if you're just that huge of an Empire simp, go ahead and contribute to our highest tier Patreon and download her, print her out as your poster, and yeah, do as you please. I already have her as my lock screen right now.
Nice.
But yeah, I think the artist did an amazing job.
The
of course,
artist did perfect.
Yeah.
That's amazing looking.
Yeah. Now I wish I was joining the Empire right now, Hannah.
See?
Well, not your Sith Empire, it's the Galactic Empire, but yes.
Sith Empire's better. Fight me.
But yes, with that Patreon stuff out of the way, shout out to your blog, Hannah.
Shout out to Celine's Cantina. Support, please.
Yeah, you've been getting a good amount of questions on your side from what I've heard.
I'm up to like 12 that have been sitting in my inbox now. It's just out of the podcast sphere. I've been going through a lot.
Yeah.
And I've not been in the right place mentally. I am trying. I will get to the questions eventually. But, you know, writer's block and other shit that's out of my control, it happens.
Yeah, but regardless, support Celine's Cantina, especially with the new update that she has received there.
Yes.
And your very lovely looking avatar that I've commissioned for you.
Yes, and thank you. And thank you, Stanlex.
Yeah. But yes, oh yeah, shout out to all the highest tier patrons that have contributed. We have Alan Lee, Y Wolves, Dr. Emboss, Gobez, Lee Fott, Milo, Train Boy, and Tristan H. Thank you everybody so much for supporting this podcast for the past 3 years. And I am hoping that you continue to support us as we make more content in the near and foreseeable future. And with that, Hannah, so let's go ahead and get immediately into this podcast episode. This was a subject that was selected by one of our good old patrons, Tristan H. And Hannah, what was the topic/character that they selected?
Today we will be covering Abeloth.
Abeloth, arguably one of the most divisive/overpowered characters in all of Star Wars.
If you have only seen her art like a few times like I have, aside from just knowing so little about her, she's fucking creepy.
Yeah, you know, why am I not remembering the name at the top of my head? There's a specific yokai from Japanese mythology where it's just a woman with a wide smile, you know?
I don't know what yokai you're talking about either.
Okay, so there's a specific yokai. A lot of yokai are like women for some reason. But there's this one yokai that has a huge slit smile, and apparently they are created from women who are heavily abused by their husbands, and they always wear a mask. And
that's fucked up.
Yeah, on the street, if a man approaches them, they ask the question, "Do I look beautiful?" And if the man lies, she kills them.
What if they tell the truth? They're free to go.
I guess they're free to go, but it's
Okay.
basically one of those urban legends, like don't approach creepy looking women on the road or whatever. One of those sorts of stories.
Uh-huh.
I know, Japanese mythology is weird like that.
Any mythology.
But yeah, Abeloth, she reminds me of that sort of yokai, except she's much more Lovecraftian in this regard.
Oh, yeah. She is peak Eldritch Abomination.
Let me give you a nice little quote from Abeloth herself.
Okay.
Once you were with me, here in the maw. Once you were all with me. Now you are apart, but one by one, you are all awakening. And once awake, you can hear my call. And come to me.
Okay, not as... When you don't have the context behind it, she sounds nice.
Yeah, she sounds a little very, very mother-like.
Yeah.
Out of context.
Well,
but
I mean, she is the quote-unquote mother of
yeah,
the ones.
Yeah. I know for a fact that I briefly talked about Abeloth in the Gods episode, but I purposefully left out a lot of details because she deserves her own episode, and we are right on her own episode. So just a little bit of background. Abeloth, she appears in this novel series called Fate of the Jedi. And it's one of the last Legends novels.
Legends, obviously.
Yeah, it's Legends. It's one of the last Legends novel series ever made. Before Disney decided to reboot the entire franchise.
Yeah, Sword of the Jedi would have been so cool.
Oh yeah,
Jaina deserved her own series.
Yeah. But let's see. Abeloth, if you want a context or comparison of what Abeloth is to the Star Wars franchise, she's basically the final boss of the entire franchise, like you see with Thanos from MCU, even though it's still going on right now, Darkseid from DC, Kronika from Mortal Kombat, even though it's still going on. She's one
Different
of those
timelines, yada yada.
Yeah. She is one of those endgame type characters, the ultimate big bad evil guy to beat all the other big bad evil guys.
Yeah, she's like the ultimate boss.
She is the ultimate final boss, and she technically has been the final boss for Legends anyway. Mm-hmm. Even though it keeps going on and there are villains that precede her, but
there are more and more villains in Star Wars than anybody can count. At least in Legends.
Yeah, in a galaxy far, far away, there are a lot of evil people, Hannah.
Yes.
But no, I think
I think an Eldritch Abomination is a lot more threatening than an emo teen.
You know, that is very fair, Hannah. That is very, very fair. Or more fucking Snoke.
He's just a shriveled up ball sack.
But let me see. Let me give you a nice little history behind Abeloth. The Fate of a Jedi series. I'm going to say this right now, Hannah. Mm-hmm. Like I did with a lot of movie-style characters like Padme, Count Dooku, Qui-Gon.
It's Cliff Notes.
Yeah, it's the Cliff Notes version. Because even though Abeloth isn't a movie character, she is the antagonist of the Fate of a Jedi series, which is 9 books.
Goddamn!
So obviously I'm not going to dive into every single thing that she's been through in the books. So I'm just going to condense it a little bit. But I'll give you a little bit of background. Abeloth was created, so the Fate of a Jedi series was collectively written by authors Troy Denning, Aaron Elston, and Christy Golden. I'm pretty sure we all are fairly aware of Troy Denning and his work.
I've heard Troy Denning is a bit of a author. So
I guess that's putting it mildly, yeah.
I will be able to form a better opinion when I read the Darkness trilogy and when we go and meet him at LegendsCon.
Yeah, that's going to be fun when we eventually go there. But yeah, so essentially the story behind Abeloth's creation is that all 3 of the authors, so basically the Fate of a Jedi trilogy, its conception was done in a private meeting in a hotel room between all 3 of the authors. And the basic idea of the plot of the book series was Luke and Ben Skywalker investigating the cause of Jason Solo's fall to the dark side. That was partially inspired by Homer's epic poem, The Odyssey.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want a comparison of what Fate of a Jedi is, it's basically that, because Luke Skywalker and Ben Skywalker kind of just go to parts of a galaxy trying to get to the bottom of this mystery.
True, but Luke isn't away from his wife for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Like Odysseus is.
But,
really quick, speaking of the Odyssey, there is a very amazing musical in concept right now called Epic the Musical.
Interesting. Okay.
Check it out. Seriously, go check it out. If you're a Greek mythology nerd, check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, back to the episode.
But yeah, and basically Abeloth was conceptualized as this spiritual antagonist that's kind of challenging Luke's belief in the Jedi Order light side and his concept of the Force and all that. Mm-hmm. But let me see if I could get to... Okay. Yeah, Abeloth was seen as a spiritual monster for a spiritual journey. fitting to her position as one of the most powerful antagonists of Star Wars. And as I said before, she's ultimately the last antagonist of a Legends continuity since Fall of the Jedi. And the following book, The Crucible, which is officially the last novel that took place within Legends before it was released in 2013, before Disney rebooted the franchise in 2014. I gotta show you cover art of The Crucible, but it looks really freaking good.
I want to see.
Yeah. It's basically Luke Skywalker with his sister Leia and Han Solo all at the same time in their old forms. It's really cool. I'll let you look at that real quickly. However, out of the behind the scenes stuff, I think I remember there was a later interview that Troy Denning went through, and people were asking him, hey, did you take the inspiration, because if you're a D&D nerd like I am, did you take inspiration from the D&D monster, the Abeloth, and named Abeloth after it?
Did he?
And he's like, I do not know what that is. So maybe he did, who knows?
Okay.
But no, I think it's I always find myself doing this every single time, like misspelling Abeloth's name in Abeloth. If you want a quick fix, imagine Abeloth as like the loft cat.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
And the Abeloth is the E. You just kind of switch the E and the O around.
Okay.
Just a nice little thing I want to throw out there. But out of the scene stuff aside, let's go ahead and talk about the lovely lady.
Let's actually get into the meat of the episode.
I'm sure you're very familiar
Lovely
with
lady.
the very lovely lady that will become Abeloth, Hannah. But yeah, as you saw from some of the fan pictures, she's
terrifying.
Yeah, she's got the slitty eyes, the wide grin, and the tentacle fingers.
That's fan art, isn't it?
Yeah, that is officially fan art. So I will show you a couple of official art of Abeloth, because there's so few of them. It's kind of ridiculous. For as big of a name as Abeloth is. But anyway, the origins of Abeloth are kind of shrouded in mystery, as a lot of things are in Star Wars.
A lot of the primordials are shrouded in mystery.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what happened before the fucking galaxy as we know it.
Exactly.
And that's before Revan's time.
Yeah. Though her story is partially remembered by the Frora hive of the Killiks. So it's kind of retold from their perspective, which, do keep in mind, is kind of construed, because they can't tell the difference between reality and myth.
And they rely on the joiners.
Yeah.
And the memories of the joiners and the feelings of the joiners and,
Yeah.
So it's not all concrete. It could have happened, but they don't know if it happened.
Yeah, but this will be told from their perspective, Hannah. So just keep that in mind.
I know. The same thing happened with the one.
Sometime at around 100,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. Around this time, there would be a lot of ancient races going around in the galaxy. We covered a good amount of them in the precursor episodes, like the Columni, the little gray aliens, the Kwai, who are the original inhabitants of Dathomir, who created the Infinity Gates, blah blah blah. At around this important time, yeah, I know. Though more importantly, around this era, this is the time where the Celestials were out and about, the godlike beings that created the Star Wars galaxy as we know it.
Yep.
And more specifically, the Force wielders were around, or as you better know them as, the Ones, the Father, the Son, and the Daughter.
Yes.
They once upon a time lived upon this gorgeous-looking world. Which was covered in forests. There's a massive lake. They were living in harmony on this gorgeous world. We don't know the name of this world, but it's basically out there where the Maw is, which is basically the area where a shit ton of black holes are. Okay. And where motherfucking why am I not thinking of a world right now? Kessel, that's where it is, Kessel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where Kessel is, but the planet is not Kessel, just for clarification. But basically, the son and the daughter and the father were just kind of chilling, doing their average thing. Like the son, as we all know, is the
son being emo.
The son being emo, the daughter being peaceful, and the father being the calming influence, or at least trying to keep the peace between the son and the daughter, because, as we all know, dark side.
Wait until a million years later.
Oh yeah, it was always like that with those guys, and they've been doing this for 100,000 years, Hannah. Like, goddamn.
Fucking tired. I get tired of it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, they lived on this gorgeous world. And as per usual, the daughter and the son would struggle against each other. Each half of their world representative of their nature, like you see in the Mortis arc, that sort of thing. Except it was contained in the structure instead of on a planet. Mm-hmm. The son, on this world, there's these two distinct locations. The son had his place, which is the font of power. And the daughter, she had what was called the pool of knowledge. Mm-hmm. And the font of power, very self-explanatory. It gives the son his power in the dark side. And the daughter, her pool of knowledge. She swims within the pool of knowledge. And the pool of knowledge, very specifically, contains all knowledge in the galaxy. And for the son, his font of power, it allows whoever looks in it to see both the future and the past.
Okay, that's
so a lot
with how they utilize the ones in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, exactly. The father would keep the burden of maintaining peace between the two, standard shit and all that. However, he would not be alone in this endeavor. One day, there was just this mortal woman that appeared in the courtyard of the One's palace. We don't know exactly where she come from. I don't think we even know what race she was a part of, but she looks human, so I assume she's human, or at least near human, once upon a time.
Okay.
And this
random female.
Just this random female that came out of fucking nowhere. But she would appear, and she came to serve the son and the daughter, becoming known as simply the servant.
Okay.
And she was a beautiful young woman who barely looked any older than the other two Force wielders, conveying a wide smile, golden hair, and twinkling eyes. As, she did the normal stuff like pouring refreshments for the son and the daughter, and she would do other things like she looked upon the father very warmly, and the father would return the smile right back. It's a very, very warm relationship between them and the servant. Mm-hmm. And she was the calming influence that basically kept these powerful beings busy in their day-to-day lives.
I mean, she was the technical balance in the Force.
Yeah. Like for example, she would distract both the daughter and the son with games and chores, that sort of thing. And
imagine these two fucking gods in the forms of adults being treated like children made to do chores in kids' games.
But yeah, that's a
funny picture.
It is a funny picture, but still very heartwarming.
I know.
And she would dot on the father, like, hey, what's going on? And she even helped the son in focusing and using the dark side for more productive things, like creating entire rooms with his Force lightning, doing everything she can to distract them from warring amongst each other, that sort of thing. And as time would go on, she would become known as the mother, as she grew a lot older, since, as I mentioned, she was mortal, and her family were immortal, so age kind of caught up to her.
For them, that's probably like a blink.
Yeah,
but to
exactly.
Her, it was ages.
But yeah, she would keep distracting the family as much as she can, as she legitimately loved the Ones, like they were her own family. Mm-hmm. But as her age caught up to her, as she became this feeble old woman, conflict arose once again between the Ones.
Of course.
And it basically, this entire argument between the father who's trying to calm down the son and the daughter was happening right near the font of power. And this argument, this debate, was so powerful that it destroyed parts of the world around them. They weren't even doing anything. They were just arguing and shit was going sideways.
That just shows how powerful they actually are.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck, they were handicapped.
And the mother, she was seeing her family just squabbling and fighting amongst each other. And what can she do in her feeble state? So she decided in out of pure love to try and regain balance between her family. She did what would be considered a little bit sacrilege for a mortal like her. She drank from the fount of power, which restored her youth. And she decided to swim within the pool of knowledge.
Oh no, bro.
And from this,
That's not good.
yeah, I know.
It came out of a place of love.
Yeah.
She just did it out of love, and then she becomes this eldritch abomination.
Yeah, she was just swimming through the pool of knowledge, and then she looks up to find the father looking down at her with pure disgust. And the mother looked back, but instead of being guilty, she gave the father a wide smile.
Ooh.
And as she came out of the fount, the pool of knowledge, okay, so more specifically, the father was kind of distracted by the mother that the son decided to attack him right then and there, and the daughter intercepted him. Just this,
Basically, one of the episodes of the Mortis arc.
Yeah, pretty much, but
they're always fucking fighting.
Unfortunately, yes.
Now I know how my parents felt.
But yeah, it specifically says that when the father looked down at the mother, or I guess Abeloth now, it specifically said that she looked back at him, but more sly and defiant.
Okay.
Yeah. And the mother, as she saw the daughter and the son fighting amongst each other, she dragged herself out of the pool of knowledge, completely transformed into this. Basically, she transformed into an immortal now, but being with drinking from the fount of power and swimming through the pool of knowledge, it utterly warped and corrupted her psyche into an absolute monster.
She went nuts.
She went absolutely nuts.
She is knucking fun.
So yeah, she dragged herself out of the pool of knowledge, and just by raising her hands, she restrained both the daughter and the son like that.
Okay.
And basically, the son and the daughter were freaking the fuck out because their mortal servant now has the powers of a god, basically. Mm-hmm. And the father, he attacked Abeloth and took the daughter and the son off of the world, basically abandoning Abeloth.
What the fuck? What an asshole!
But yeah, those two things granted Abeloth the power that she needed to become a god, but it corrupted her spirit into evil and her appearance into a demonic figure. Actually, on top of that, let me send you one of the few official pieces of art of Abeloth in her true form anyway.
There it is. Yeah, everyone knows that one.
Yeah, that is essentially what Abeloth came out of. Or she became once she got out of the pool of knowledge.
Yeah, she went from a normal, beautiful, mortal woman to that.
Yeah.
An ugly-ass squid.
But yeah, as I said before, Abeloth, the mother, she did this out of purest of intentions. But
Look where it got her.
Yeah, she wanted to do that to keep her family together. But her greatest fears have been realized as they basically abandon her on her own world.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate the father. He is a fucking asshole.
But yeah, with her greatest fear realized, Abeloth succumbed to madness, of which her anger corrupted her very world, where the plants grew wild, the animals lived in terror, rivers ran crimson, and lightning plagued the skies. Her entire world got corrupted, and she was able to completely assert her control on the entire planet. Like, at her beck and call, she could cause the plants to just prey on the wildlife.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she's essentially an insane god at that point now.
Yeah.
And she had one last goal. Well, I wouldn't say one last goal. One goal to her life. To be loved and adored again.
I mean, fair, but not looking like that.
And from that point onwards, she became known as, what was it? She gained the nickname of the Destructor. Or more famously, the Bringer of Chaos.
That fits her.
Yeah, it is. So she was abandoned on this world to essentially be marooned. But she wasn't isolated for very long. She managed to get off of there. We don't know how, but she managed to break free from her world and plague the galaxy.
I think that as soon as the ones left, they just floated around and looked for Mortis.
That is fair. For the very first time that Abeloth escaped Solitude, basically she managed to escape following the end of a 1,000-year war between one of the older races of the galaxy.
Okay.
So basically, throughout history, she was the bringer of chaos, but she was only able to plague the galaxy from eras of great strife, which could be resulted from 1,000 years of war, for example.
I am so fucking surprised she didn't make an appearance sooner when the Empire was fucking shit up.
Well, we'll get to that distinctive part, Hannah. Don't you worry.
Okay.
According to the Killiks, she has at least escaped 3 times, at the very least.
Oh no, bro.
And she brought about the destruction of entire civilizations as described by their memories. And I'll read an exact quote. Free-eyed bipeds fled tentacled felines in a ruined city. Woodland creatures succumbed to fang vines in a forest flattened by a blast. Seabirds flew over islands of moldy flesh on an ocean world. This is just the result of her plaguing these civilizations.
Jesus.
Yeah, she is literally the bringer of destruction and chaos across the galaxy. If a father was the balance between the light side and the dark side, Abeloth was basically inverted.
Yeah, she's his foil.
Basically, yeah. And every single time she escaped, the daughter and the son, one of the few times they actually got together and fought her to contain her.
Like, okay, we gotta go put mom back in the home.
So, in a twisted sense, her just existing did maintain balance between the light side and the dark side if you think
True.
about it.
They actually worked together.
Yeah, one of the few times they could actually agree and work together to fight Abeloth.
Yeah.
I don't know what the father was doing, but apparently he's just chilling.
Yeah, just, come on, we gotta go put mom back in the
We
home.
gotta put mom back in the cage, god damn it.
No, the home.
God damn it, the retirement home, god damn it.
Yeah,
Oh, great,
we
grandma.
gotta go put mom back in the home.
Oh, great, Abeloth, she escaped from a retirement home. Time to put her back in there, crazy old bitch.
Specifically, if any of you are Golden Girls fans, she needs to go to Shady Pines.
But yeah, but after a couple of times, it's very evident that Abeloth will not be able to stay on her planet. I'm sure they did attempt to kill her a couple of times, but being an immortal, you can't kill an immortal. But during the last time, the son and the daughter would call upon the service of the Killiks from Alderaan, which is where they most importantly come in. They basically bonded their mind with the hive mind and controlled the entirety of the Killick race to create these wondrous devices. Like for example, they created technical wonders such as the Steel Curtain, the Chasm of Forever, and more importantly, the World Pillar. The World Polar, which is much more recognizable as Center Point Station.
Okay.
Basically, Center Point Station is this giant fuck-off station that has the ability to... It has powerful tractor beams, which can move around celestial bodies, like planets and black holes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So their entire plan, the Killicks anyway, were to basically gather together a bunch of black holes, push them somewhere else where Abeloth is. I know, the Patrick meme. Why don't we take a bunch of black holes and put them somewhere else? So yeah, the Maw cluster, that was created by the Killicks specifically to contain Abeloth.
Oh, shit.
And more specifically, like, they crammed all of these black holes, but they specifically positioned 2 black holes in between the planet that Abeloth is on. And then there's a second station called Sinkhole Station, which basically cloaks Abeloth's planet from view so that nobody could get curious and, visit the world. And, after that is done and over with, Abeloth, she's contained for essentially eternity on this world. And the daughter and the son, after their work is done, they sever their link to the hive mind and got about to do whatever it is that Force wielders do. But, after the containment of Abeloth, there would be new races in the galaxy, like the Rakata would dethrone the Qua and all that sort of shit. And basically, when Abeloth came into the galaxy, she would uproot the current power base and replace it with a new power base. So she basically changed the future numerous times in the Star Wars galaxy. So if you really think about it, without Abeloth, we wouldn't have a Star Wars galaxy we would know now.
That's weird to think about.
Yeah. So, thank you, Abeloth.
Thank you, Abeloth. Please don't kill us. I don't taste good, I promise.
But yeah, after that, the ones decided to contain themselves on Mortis, the monolith Mortis.
It's like, fuck this! We're not going back out there!
But even though Abeloth is basically contained in a Maw cluster, every once in a while, there would be Force sensitives that venture to the Maw, and they would feel the calling of Abeloth through the Force. Like, come here, I could show you enlightenment in the Force, that sort of thing.
Yeah, she was just calling out to them.
Yeah, that because she can't do anything else, basically. So each Force user...
It's like a siren song.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a very good comparison. Thank you for that,
Well,
Hannah.
literally, the sirens make their first appearance in the Odyssey.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually
and
very true.
Odysseus fills his ears with earwax.
Yeah. But yeah, so these...
Not earwax, beeswax.
Oh, okay. So basically, these Force users would go to Sinkhole Station and just meditate with Abeloth's Force essence. So there's basically this extra-dimensional plane. I forget the name of it, but if you ever watch any episodes of the Rebel TV show...
The World Between Worlds?
The World Between Worlds. That's basically the Legends version of the World Between Worlds. That's what I imagine it, at least.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So a lot of these Force sensitives would meditate, and they would kind of have a... Oh, God damn it. It's like that scene from Doctor Strange where his ethereal form gets pulled out of his body and goes into the
Astral projecting.
There we go. Astral projection. It's kind of like that with each one of these Force sensitives.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it is kind of pretty cool. And over the centuries, numerous Force traditions across the millennia would find themselves at Sinkhole Station, meditating with the Force essence of Abeloth. Like there's the Tholonasi, the Jinsari, the Barandu Sages, and 10 dozen more Force-sensitive traditions that have just chilled out at Sinkhole Station for countless millennia.
I'm surprised Revan or Kreia didn't pop over there like, what's up, bitch?
That is actually kind of surprising, but I think they had better things to do, aside from going to the Maw cluster where there's a bunch of black holes everywhere.
Yeah, they just had several wars to go start.
Hey, when you have countless wars, Hannah, there's a lot on your plate.
No, Revan started those wars.
That is true. That is very true. Oh yeah, here's what it's called. So this entire realm that each one of these Force users are convening Abeloth with on is called Beyond Shadows. So yeah, it's that sort of realm, which I am picture of a world between worlds.
Yeah, I just think that's the world between worlds.
You know, I haven't found any source that pretty much confirms their connection, but that's what I imagine it to be.
Hey, Fanon is always kind of better than canon.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, we're going to fast forward a little bit. We know what happens to the ones. They get killed by Anakin, Obi-Wan, they get killed.
Literally, go watch the Mortis arc.
It's such a good arc.
It's an amazing arc.
Oh, yeah. So, fast forward. So there's this former Jedi named Callista Ming, who is... Callista. She is one of the former lovers of Luke Skywalker.
I've heard a little bit about her, but okay.
But basically, she was on a journey. She finds herself off of Maw. Because she was, we might do an episode on her eventually, but basically her connection to the Force was severed. And she was trying to go on this enlightenment of sorts. So she found herself at the Maw and encountered Abeloth, who promised her, you know, like, I could reunite you with the Force, but unfortunately, Abeloth consumed her instead.
Oh, I can reunite you with the Force. Nom, nom, nom,
nom, nom, nom, nom. But yeah.
What a terrible way to die.
I know. Abeloth basically absorbed her and absorbed her characteristics, because Abeloth is kind of a shapeshifter too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so imagine the Sith Witchlings, but Abeloth can do that at whim.
That's cool.
It is pretty cool,
well,
yeah.
She is a fucking goddess.
Yeah,
so.
Pretty much. The goddess of chaos at this point. But yeah, gonna fast forward a little bit. During the Yuzhang Vong War...
Oh dear God, that's very fast forward.
I know. The new Jedi Order, after, you know, the Yuzhang Vong invaded Coruscant, the New Republic got the fuck out of Dodge along with the Jedi Order. The Jedi Order had this secret base within the Maw cluster, because why the fuck would the Yuzhang Vong want to go to a bunch of black holes and shit? That's a safe area for us. Okay. So basically, they, the next generation of Jedi Knights were placed in this station right near, unintentionally, Abeloth's world.
Did Luke not fucking notice?
No. Because Abeloth can cloak her presence that easily through the Force.
Good job, Grandmaster.
But basically, a lot of Jedi children, younglings, barely infants.
Oh
no! But let me see.
Oh no! What did she do?
Okay, so more specifically, so Ben Skywalker, he was born like 2 years ago when this happened. He was at the same station with the rest of the younglings.
He's a toddler.
So
where were his mother and father?
They're off in the war, Hannah. That's why they're placed there to begin with. But basically, Ben Skywalker, when he was young, he felt of a presence reaching out to him, like, your parents are away. Let me become your mother figure, that sort of thing. Because, you know, Abeloth, she wants to have her own family. She wants to be adored. She wants to be the mother again, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but oh no, just this rando ass Force entity diddling the mind of a 2-year-old. Oh no.
But fortunately, Ben Skywalker, he felt this presence upon him, trying to give him honeyed lies and that sort of thing. But he felt her immense sense of loneliness, which scared the young Ben Skywalker. So he kind of disconnected himself from the Force, essentially isolating himself from Abeloth's presence.
That's cool. At 2 years old?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Hey, man. He more...
Them fucking Skywalkers, I swear to God.
I mean, he did... Mara Jade went into labor in the middle of a fucking war.
True.
Not to mention, she had to battle a motherfucking Yuzheng Vong virus when this shit went down.
True. She was fighting off the Vong virus while giving birth.
Exactly. The Skywalkers, man. They, as one of the viewers commented once upon a time, every time a Skywalker is born, it's not normal.
No, it's not. God damn.
But regardless, Abeloth may not be able to touch upon Ben's mind, but she still had the rest of the younglings she can influence.
It's like, ooh, babies.
Ooh. But yeah, she connected her influence to the minds of the other infant Jedi, which were like 11 of them, I believe.
Oh.
But this will be important for later.
I mean, it's sweet when you think about it from her perspective. It's like, ooh, babies need mothers. So I just because she's so lonely.
Yeah.
If she wasn't an eldritch force-consuming abomination, it would be sweet.
It would be sweet, yeah. So after the Yuzheng Vong War, Jason Solo, so we'll get into all of the shit that he does in his episode, but long story...
We just need an episode about the Solos.
Yeah, I know. It's going... You could see me grimacing already.
Yep.
Basically, Jason Solo decided to go on a personal journey to find secrets or whatever. And he eventually found himself meeting the Force sensitives that were in Cinco Station. By the way, I forgot to mention, they're called the Mind Walkers.
Okay.
That's what the organization is called anyway. And Jason Solo convened with the Mind Walkers. And he saw certain futures, and he was so traumatized by what he saw, he was utterly convinced that he needed to join the dark side to change the future.
So that's how he became.
Yeah, I know it's basically me condensing it because it's about Abeloth, but it's kind of important.
Okay.
But, and then Jason Solo decided to,
So, in a nutshell, Abeloth was the reason Jason became Darth Caedus.
Well, indirectly, yes.
Okay.
But anyway, Jason Solo became Darth Caedus, began the Second Galactic Civil War, which lasted 4 years, I believe.
Killed the
And after that, let me actually go to my notes real quickly. Okay, and this entire shitstorm that happened, okay, Center Point Station, even though it's basically a station that has a powerful tractor beam, it's still technically a super weapon because you are moving planets and shit with that. Around the lines, one of the factions in the Second Galactic Civil War got their hands on Center Point Station and wanted to use it for their own gains.
Oh no, bro.
But Luke Skywalker saw this and he's like, okay, we gotta destroy this shit so it stays out of enemy hands or that sort of thing.
That's not good.
So they destroyed Center Point Station, and it destabilized its sister station, Cinco Station. And
SpaghettiOs.
For the first time in 100,000 years, the black holes of a Maw cluster slowly drifted away. And Abeloth's world was revealed for all to see. That's free real estate right there.
Holy shit. Good job, Skywalker.
I mean, he
fucked the whole galaxy.
He didn't know about.
He didn't know, but oh my god.
So, okay. So the black hole started to drift, and basically the entire Maw cluster shifted into a crescent-shaped gap with Abeloth's planet in between it.
Oh no.
But at this point in time, even though Abeloth essentially had access to the galaxy again, she was kind of biding her time a little bit because she reached out through the Force, and she was particularly focused on Luke Skywalker himself because by her perspective, Luke Skywalker emanated the brightest light in the Force in the entire galaxy. So she became a little bit interested in him.
I mean, yeah, in that era, he is the strongest Force user in the galaxy.
Even George Lucas himself proclaims Luke as the most powerful Jedi ever.
Yeah, I mean, everyone talks about Legends Grandmaster Luke being so much more of a badass than canon Grandmaster Luke.
Unfortunately, yes. But yes, so 3 years after the destruction of Centerpoint Station, 2 years after the end of the Second Galactic Civil War, and basically the same year, so long story short, Luke Skywalker was basically exiled from Coruscant and the Jedi Order. Because at the end of the Galactic Civil War...
Fuck?
So, okay, I know there's a whole lot of things that are kind of important for context, but at the end of the war, basically, the government of the Galactic Alliance blamed Luke Skywalker for Jason's fall to the dark side and killing a bunch of innocent people in the process.
What the fuck?
And basically, Luke Skywalker was exiled for 10 years. He's not allowed to go to Coruscant. He's not allowed to go to any of the Jedi temples in his time.
Was Leia still on the government at that time?
No, God damn it. I think she was, because she's still a Jedi at this point, but I think she was in politics at around this time. Oh yeah, around this time, our good old lady friend Natasha Dalla was the chief of state at this time.
Oh god. Natasha Dalla as chief of state.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. Just to catch our viewers up, Natasha Dalla is basically the yeah. Dalla is basically the protege of Tarkin.
She's as crazy as he was.
Yeah, and just as ruthless. Just watch the Pelion episode. Yes! She's so awesome. I would love to do an episode about her one day.
I need to learn more about her because she's a badass, strong female character, you know?
Yeah.
But she's also fucking insane.
But yeah, at around this time, there's a lot of political strife that's going on. Basically, like, it's kind of like the, what happened at the end of the Clone Wars. Like, one of our Jedi betrayed us and tried to overthrow the government. It's kind of the same thing with Darth Caedus and all that. Just replace Darth Caedus with Dooku if you wanted perspective. And Dalla, she was kind of taking advantage of this political climate and anti-Jedi sentiment. Like, basically, instead of the Jedi being a separate organization, they need to be more attached as a government entity, that sort of thing.
That's exactly what the fuck they're trying to get away from.
Exactly. And Dalla was taking advantage of that because she absolutely distrusted the Jedi.
Well, no shit. If she was a Tarkin's apprentice, he would have nailed that into her.
Exactly.
You don't like the Jedi.
But yeah, on the other side of things, you remember all those younglings that Abeloth bonded with?
Yeah.
They're essentially like Padawans at this point. Okay. All 11 of them. But as things kept going forward, they started to exhibit strange symptoms. So let me see. Basically, they developed slow mental deterioration until it manifested into paranoia, caused through the belief that everyone they knew was an imposter.
That was what Abeloth was putting the thought into their heads. Everyone's an imposter. Don't trust anybody.
Yeah, sus. They were venting here and right, Hannah. But yeah, this is a manifestation of Abeloth's power, which is called the Force Psychosis.
Oh, shit.
And all 11 of these youngling Jedi that she bonded with are victims of this. And they became her unintentional spies in the wider galaxy.
Oh no, bro. Oh no.
So basically, there was this one Jedi. His name is Valen Horn, who was the first Jedi to develop these symptoms. And he's like, I can't trust any of you. Who are you? Where did you... What is going on? And he went on this huge rampage across Coruscant.
Okay.
And not exactly a good picture when motherfucking the government hates Jedi and distrusts them right now when you see one of these rogue Jedi going around killing innocent civilians left and right because they're imposters.
Oh no, bro.
And as a side effect of this Force Psychosis, the victims exhibited rare Force abilities that they normally would not know, like Force Lightning or whatever.
Imagine a Padawan going around killing people with fucking force lightning.
Yeah.
Everyone would be like, that's not normal.
Exactly. But outside of the Jedi, it's just another case of Jedi going on a power trip or something.
Okay.
But
I
after...
think Leia, at least, in her position in the government, be like, that's not normal.
But after a lengthy manhunt, they managed to capture this Jedi Padawan. But he was proclaimed so dangerous, they basically encased him in carbonite until they could find like a solution or something.
If only they had the Mando timeout box.
More fucking Mando timeout corner. Well, I mean, in all fairness, the carbonite served the same...
No, it's
role.
not. It's not a corner. It's a timeout box.
The timeout box. What would be the carbonite? The stasis box or something?
No, that's also timeout.
Yeah.
It's just you stop breathing.
That is true. That is very true.
That's death. At least the Mandalore timeout box for Force users keeps you alive.
But yeah, so I haven't read this certain novel. Okay, a little bit of background. I specifically remember we would do a lot of road trips back and forth from Colorado when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And one of the audiobooks my mom got for me for those long-ass road trips were like 5 or 6 hours, by the way. One of them was the second book of the Fate of the Jedi series. And it was kind of this really, I wouldn't say really weird, but a really tense plotline where, so Valen is the brother. His sister was also infected by Abeloth.
Okay.
And in this story, you know, she's kind of going from the ramifications, like, oh my god, my brother, he absolutely went on a rampage. Why did he do that? Like, she's conversing with his Mon Calamari Jedi Master, who's looking for a cure and for symptoms and whatever.
Okay.
And then, in this brief instance, she kind of has this revelation. She looks at the Mon Calamari Jedi. She's like, who are you? Where did you take my friend? And she also goes on another rampage.
God damn, just like that.
Yep, just like that.
Holy shit.
It's a really, really tense moment in the book, by the way.
Yet another audiobook I have to add to my list.
Yeah. And,
That's so much money.
well, so Valen's sister is named Jalesa Horn. She would go on a rampage, and slowly the other Jedi started showing symptoms of Force psychosis, and the entire Jedi Order were just scrambling, like, what the fuck is going on? Is there a new pandemic going on? And Luke Skywalker, he is away for the entirety of this shit going down, by the way.
The leader's gone. There's a weird Force play going around. Why wouldn't you be smart and go find the Grand Master? It's like, help!
But yeah, all of these infected Force users just further vindicated Dahla's anti-Jedi sentiment, and she's trying to pressure them into becoming a less independent entity and become more of a government entity. Mm-hmm. But while that shit is going on the bright side, Luke Skywalker's exile gave him the chance to travel around the galaxy, because I think basically he is trying to get under the mystery of why Jason Solo went to the dark side, so he's basically retracing his steps all over the galaxy.
True, but shit is going sideways within your order and the New Republic that you helped save and build, and you're just off doing your own fucking thing!
Bureaucracy, man. It sucks. It sucks
Oh
ass. So, basically, Luke Skywalker, he's not alone in this, by the way. He's accompanied by his son, Ben Skywalker. And they're actually kind of flying around in his late wife's starfighter, which is called the Jade Shadow. It's a really sleek-looking ship. Let me go ahead and send it over for you real quickly.
I still love Mara. She's
one
of my favorite characters.
She is awesome.
Screw you, Lucas, for not canonizing her.
But yeah, that's the they were going on their own odyssey around the galaxy.
That's a very nice ship.
It is a very sleek looking ship.
It reminds me a little bit of Padme's ship.
Oh yeah, the motherfucking why am I not thinking of a name right now? But yeah, her skimmers.
Yeah.
They are
It's very nice.
A lot of women in Star Wars love their sleek ships.
Why not?
Why the hell not? Well, anyway, across his journey, Luke Skywalker would travel to numerous places. Like, he went to Kel Dor, which is the homeworld of Plo Koon's race, to basically talk to Baron Doosages.
I was going to say the Baron Doosages.
The Baron Doosages. And then he went into the Cathal Rift to talk to the Angti monks. We'll eventually talk about the Angti monks, but basically they have the power of flow walking, which allows a person to go back or forward in time.
Of course there's time travel. Of course there is some form of time travel in the Star Wars universe.
There always is, even the new canon of Star Wars.
Because that's the world between worlds. Isn't it?
Yep.
But with it.
And then after that, eventually Luke and Ben found themselves in the Maw Cluster, and more specifically, the Mind Walkers.
Okay.
And this is where they start closing in and getting to the bottom of his mystery, of his Force psychosis. And at around the same time, there's this other Force organization that's popping about in the galaxy right now. They're called the Lost Tribe of the Sith.
Okay, this is where these guys show up.
Yep. The Lost Tribe of the Sith, I'm going to make it a long story short. They're basically the descendants of...
Sith purebloods.
Descendants of Sith purebloods that crash land in the middle of buttfuck nowhere for thousands of years, just making their own culture and intermingling with the natives. And at around this point in time, they were contacted by this rogue Sith meditation sphere. You probably know what those look like, right?
Was it Naga Sadow or Ludocraft?
Yeah, it was Naga Sadow that had a Civ meditation sphere.
I remember briefly from the episode.
Yeah, I know they're kind of goofy looking, but I do like the way they look. Just
they
being
are goofy looking.
So there's this Civ
the Eye of Exodia.
I know. This specific Civ meditation sphere went to the Lost Tribe of the Sith to contact them because it's drawn to powerful Force users. And by the way, the Civ meditation sphere is just called Ship.
Okay.
That's literally was I know, very original. But point is, it went to the Lost Tribe of the Sith, brought them up to speed of what happened to the Sith and all of that, and they went around conquering the galaxy. Well, not conquering the galaxy, just raiding and getting more ships and all that stuff. And the Lost Tribe of the Sith, they would hear this voice calling out to them and gesturing them towards the Maw Cluster. And you probably know where this is leading.
Abeloth. She's just waiting there like, I'm in numb on you.
Yeah, and basically, Abeloth was reaching out to the Lost Tribe for more allies at her side. Because as powerful as Abeloth is, she's going to need some help.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Sith made landfall on Abeloth's world. And they were specifically drawn to the power of his local volcano. And they eventually went into this cave. And this is where Abeloth makes her grand introduction.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and read you an insert from one of the books.
I'd love to see how they describe this.
Yeah. Ahari slipped out of his hiding place, then ignited his lightsaber and dived into the cave. When the gray tentacle things hanging from the roof did not immediately drop down to ensnare him, he came up slashing at Master Zell's cocoon. Vestira did not see what happened next, exactly, because she was diving into the cave after Hilari. She rolled across the lumpy floor, then came up on Zell's other side, bringing her red Legion-powered blade down along his flank, freed from the wall, if not his cocoon. Zell patched forward, and would have slammed into the floor had he not used the force to break his fall. Paying him no more attention, Vestara pivoted around to face the gray tentacle she had seen earlier. They were no longer dangling from the ceiling. In fact, they were nowhere to be seen at all. Though there was a definite slurping sound coming from the direction of a dark tunnel. The glow rod had revealed earlier. Vestira quickly used the force to swing the beam around toward the passage, and found herself looking at an attractive Sevalet woman. Her eyes were gray, and her shoulder-length hair was the color of honey. Vestera was still struggling to comprehend what she was seeing, when a Harari sprung up in front of her, his lightsaber flashing at the woman's shoulder. There came the distinctive sizzle of a superheated blade slashing through flesh and bone. Then the occurred ting of scorched flesh. Suddenly, Alari was slammed into the cavern wall behind Vestera, his lightsaber no longer burning. His head struck with a sickening thud. Vestara watched in horror as he dropped twitching to the floor, then ignited her own blade and leapt to the attack. In the next instant, she found herself hanging in the darkness, holding a deactivated lightsaber, and staring into a pair of large gray eyes as cold and lifeless as pearls. Suddenly, Vestara had another foolish notion as to the reason Ship might have led them here, one that frightened her far more than all the others. Perhaps Ship had brought them here not to destroy the tribe, but to free the destructors. The woman lowered her hand, sending Vestara crashing to the floor of a cavern. "My apologies," she said. "I wasn't sure you were real."
Oh my god!
And that is Abeloth in the flesh.
At least... That's terrifying!
I saw you visibly just...
You said slurping noise, I'm like, ew. And then the way she just fucking flung a untrained Padawan.
Yeah.
Cracked his neck. Oh my god!
Yeah, a very intimidating introduction for Abeloth right there, Hannah. By the way, I gotta point this out real quickly. This other Sith character, Vestara, that I mentioned, she's also a very significant main character in the Fate of a Jedi series. Okay. This is what she looks like, by the way. She looks pretty cool, I gotta say.
Ooh, cold. Oh, she does look cool.
She is, yeah.
Nice, the vibroblade and the lightsaber.
And so she kind of has an interesting philosophy. She kind of believes that the light side and the dark side can be in harmony so long as the user chooses to and all that stuff. And she and Ben Skywalker kind of have a Romeo and Juliet sort of relationship.
Did he really move on from Mara?
No. Ben Skywalker, not Luke Skywalker.
Oh, I thought you said Luke.
I said Ben.
Okay.
No, Luke did not move on after the death of Mara. But, okay. I know we basically build up to Abeloth, and if I decide to talk about the stuff that Abeloth did, we would be here all fucking day. So I'm just going to tell you how powerful Abeloth is.
Night. We'd be here all night.
Yeah, we'd be here all night. So Abeloth, she is very obviously a very powerful Force user.
No shit!
So much so that basically it is impossible for mere mortals to understand the scope of her dark power, most calling her a Force volcano.
Accurate.
While others say that she holds power in the same way a supernova has with light.
Okay.
She is literally a Force supernova. If Luke Skywalker was a bright lantern, Abeloth is a massive supernova.
And that's a star dying.
Yeah.
When a supernova happens, that's a star dying.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It even says here.
Holy shit.
And it literally says here, her strength in the Force is dozens of more times more powerful than Luke Skywalker, who is widely recognized as the most powerful Force user in existence.
Oh, fuck.
And keep in mind, Luke Skywalker, during the Yuzhang Vong War, telekinetically manipulated a motherfucking black hole.
Insert the 1,000-yard stare. Oh my god.
At one point, she was fighting Luke Skywalker, who achieved oneness with the Force, and she was still able to overpower his ass.
But he didn't become one with the Force.
He achieved a state of oneness with the Force, kind of like how Goku went into you're more.
Was it Ultra Instinct?
There we go, Ultra Instinct. Yeah.
I have not caught up on Super, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Everyone was fucking hyped about it.
Yeah, that's basically Ultra Instinct for Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
And let me read you the exact quote where Abeloth overpowered Luke Skywalker's oneness in the Force. Abeloth countered, hissing in anger, and they hovered a handspin above the floor. A tremendous crack echoed down from the vaulted ceiling. They dropped again, hitting so hard that Luke's breath left in a groan. Abeloth slammed down atop him, her single leg still wrapping around his, the stump of her arm driving harder into his throat. Something crunched in his larynx. His breath came in shallow, wheezy gasps, and the crushing hand of panic began to clench at his heart.
Oh my god.
And that's Luke Skywalker in his oneness with the Force, and Abeloth can do that to him still.
She's scary.
She is.
You don't want to be on her bad side.
Oh, wait. There's more, Hannah.
This is worse than Get Zerion torturing
Oh, yeah. She makes Give Zerion look like a child by comparison.
Oh, my God.
Abeloth is also extremely fast through the use of Force speed, and additionally can use Tutaminas with relative ease. Tutaminas is when you absorb energy, like Force lightning and stuff.
Okay.
Her telekinetic powers are also very overpowering. As her duel with multiple Jedi and Sith, she was able to blast them away with Force repulses, Force choke multiple Sith, and hurl around aircraft with constant ease. Oh yeah, here's another official art piece of Abeloth fighting a bunch of Sith and Jedi. There we go.
That's freaky.
Yeah.
I like the fan art
Oh yeah.
version of her better than this, honestly, but
Still.
that's still fucking freaky.
Yeah, it is still pretty freaky.
Okay, here's a thought that just popped into my head.
Yeah.
You know how Vitiate wanted to become a god?
Yeah.
Imagine Vitiate meeting Abeloth.
That would be a fight for the centuries, yeah.
Now, Abeloth would curb stomp him.
Well, still, Vitiate would give her a pretty good fight, let's be
yes,
honest.
he would, but Abeloth, compared to Vitiate, she'd curb stomp him.
Yeah.
If she can do that, what you just said,
With Luke Skywalker of all people, yeah.
oh my god! Yeah, she would curb stomp the Sith Emperor.
Yeah. By the way, and at one point, an utterly enraged Abeloth can create waves of Force energy that cause beings close to her to implode, and others further away to be ripped into pieces.
Vitiate couldn't do that.
And with that very same Force wave, entire buildings melted to the ground. And caused glass and weaponry to fly through the city, looking to hurt someone so they could feel the same pain she felt.
Okay, again, all Vitiate did was kill a planet. She killed 2 planets.
Yeah.
Abeloth does that.
Just a motherfucking Force repose over the place.
God.
She can even move people around with a Force from across an entire star system. Like, you know how, like, Palpatine Force choked Count Dooku in the Clone Wars TV show? Imagine Abeloth doing that on a whim.
Holy fuck. Oh my god.
At one point, she was able to resist this Dathomirian magic ability called the Control Web, which is commonly used by the witches to control the minds of creatures. At one point, using it to control 30 Rancors, and she just resists that.
Well, no shit.
Yeah.
You're not controlling brain cores, you're trying to control a force god.
Yeah, who's been around for 100,000 years.
Yeah.
And has constantly fought both the daughter and the son at the same time.
Even though the most strongest witch on Dathomir could not do anything
Yeah,
to hold up
exactly.
against Abeloth. I'm sorry. As much as I love the witches, no, going up against Abeloth, unless you're Luke Skywalker, you're fucked.
She could also teleport.
Of course.
Short distances, anyway.
Of course. Why the fuck not?
She also her power in the Force Heal technique is so powerful that Luke Skywalker had never encountered such healing abilities before. And also, obviously, she could use Force Lightning.
Well,
And she has even demonstrated the ability to catch Force Lightning and just yeet it back at its source.
oh my god.
Let's see. She also has the Zephyr Force ability,
Okay.
Force Flight,
Cool.
Cryokinesis, Pyrokinesis, and she can even casually deactivate the lightsabers of other Force users.
Just activate. No.
You know how we kind of have this little debate in the Discord server. It's all like, why don't Jedi or Sith just deactivate each other's lightsaber? And the in-universe explanation is that they are surrounded in a Force aura, which basically makes it impossible anyway, unless you're a very powerful Force user. And Abeloth can just do it casually.
Personally, I thought it was like a small honor thing, but that wouldn't have made sense for the Sith.
Yeah.
It just makes me think of that gif of Luke and Vader just click, 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 click.
But yeah, and across the millennia, Abeloth can take the appearance of those she has consumed, sometimes changing her appearance in small ways, such as different eye or hair colors. Though being the embodiment of chaos itself, she swelled from the suffering and destruction she inflicts on others, to the point that just being on Coruscant itself, her mere presence caused random lava flows, which caused the death of billions, and could create monsters from the bodies of the dead.
Oh, God. It fucking wishes he could do that.
She is also very durable, able to suffer minor injuries from lightsaber strikes. Okay, long story short, Boba Fett fights Abeloth at one point, and he unloads his entire arsenal into Abeloth, and all it did was annoy her.
A for effort, Boba. A for effort.
She was able to resist a Force blast from Ben Skywalker, who is also in a state of oneness with the Force. That was so powerful, it could, quote, knock a frigate out of orbit.
Oh,
but
shit.
all it did was move her a couple of centimeters.
My God. So she's probably as heavy, if not heavier, than a starship.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Her Force Scream is also very potent, as it brought multiple Jedi Masters to their knees.
I would think that it would destroy eardrums.
And she also can produce a Force Flash, which is kind of like Krellin's I know, Krillin, of all people, I had to bring up in a topic about Abeloth. But you probably know the technique I was talking about, right?
Yes, but in Team 4-Star, in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, every time Krillin uses the solar flare...
There we
it's
go,
some
solar flare, there we go.
horrifying fucking art piece. Like Dodoria in a bathing suit, in a bikini. Something horrifying like that.
Yeah.
So I just picture a horrifying image in your mind when she does that, and just...
Anyway,
Holy shit.
Abeloth has produced a Force Flash so bright it affected the visual sensors of ships in an entire star system. Flash!
Oh,
But since you were talking about Vitiate earlier, arguably Abeloth's most powerful ability is what is known as essence transfer.
Oh, she can do that too.
Yep.
Why the fuck not?
Which has allowed her to operate in different avatar bodies across the galaxy. Meaning, even if she does die, her essence will simply go to another avatar.
Oh, God. She just like Stride.
Yeah, pretty much. It was through this method that she was able to create such chaos when she was released from her world, possessing an Imperial officer to encourage Natashi Dalla in staging a coup in the Imperial Remnant, and even took the identity of a beloved Republic senator, becoming the new Chief of State of the Galactic Alliance.
Oh, fuck!
Yep, she did that. She casually became, well, with her power and influence in the Force anyway, she was able to be elected the next Chief of State.
Holy shit.
Because, in her words, she wanted to become the, quote, beloved Queen of the Stars.
Well, she is the Queen of the Stars, but she's not beloved.
Not in the way she's thinking,
Not
anyway.
in the way she wants. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. Though, through her dependency on her avatars is also her greatest weakness. As many of these avatars, they don't share Abeloth's durability. Like, one avatar got killed by a simple thermal detonator.
It's just like how Valkorion was stabbed in the back by Arkin.
Yeah, and every time an avatar dies, Abeloth's power dwindles just a little bit. So the more avatars you kill, it's kind of like in a video game. You're not truly panicking until your last life is down.
True, but they don't know how many avatars she actually has out in the galaxy.
Yeah, that is true. Let me see. But yeah, Abeloth can still be harmed by mortal injuries such as lightsabers, blasters, explosives, and this has been her most common kryptonite, telekinetically thrown objects.
Catapult. Just every time someone needs to hurt her, just catapult.
Yeah, pretty much. Because in this one battle, Luke Skywalker basically used the Force to collapse an entire building and yeet it at Abeloth.
Just rocks!
But yeah, just to give you a good indication of how OP Abeloth is.
Oh, I've already got that indication. Thank you very much. Oh my god!
Yeah, she is so powerful that both the Jedi and the Lost Tribe of the Sith, well, some have remained loyal to Abeloth, but they realized, goddamn, she could destroy everybody in the galaxy. We need to stop her. Even if we need to unite with our hated enemies.
No shit.
But anyway, Abeloth destroyed the capital of the Lost Tribe of the Sith for retaliation, by the way. Which is called the City of Glass, I believe.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. Though as things continued, despite being the center of everything, Abeloth was still desperate in recreating her family, since the ones have been dead for a good while in the galaxy.
Well, duh. Been a long time since the Clone Wars, girly.
Yeah. And to accomplish this goal, she abducted Ben Skywalker and Vestra because, you know, they're both lovers at this point. Ben representing the light side and Vestra the dark side.
Okay.
Her replacement for the daughter of the sun at this point. And she brought them both back.
In the background, sweet home.
But anyway, so she brought both Ben and Vestra back to her planet, and she tried forcing them to drink from the fount of power and swim through the pool of knowledge. The very same thing that she went through many, many, many years ago. Uh-huh. But of course, they resisted, and Abeloth was enraged at this. But of course, she doesn't want to kill them because, you know, she wants to be beloved and all that.
Buddy, you're not my real mom.
You're not my real mom. But fortunately, Luke Skywalker, since Abeloth kidnapped his only child, he followed Abeloth back to...
He better go get his fucking
Yeah,
son.
he tracked Abeloth back to the Maw Cluster to try and finish this once and for all. And through this, he meditated, and he brought his Force essence to the Beyond Shadow realm. And there, he met another interesting individual that kind of reared their head during this entire crisis that Abeloth has been going around in the galaxy. He would encounter this other mysterious Sith Lord who goes by the name of Darth Krayt.
Oh. When the fuck did he show up?
Well, okay, so I know I'm kind of leaving out a couple of details, but Darth Krayt, he was kind of in hiding, but ever since Abeloth kind of reared her ugly head, he's like, okay, I need to put down this threat here and now, otherwise everything that I've created will be shattered. And both Luke and Darth Krayt, Darth Krayt approached Luke Skywalker, and I think his exact quote was, you cannot defeat Abeloth alone. Only together, with our combined powers, will we be able to defeat her. So both he and Luke Skywalker met on the plane beyond Shadow, where they've encountered Abeloth's Force essence. And they go into this huge, climactic battle. Two of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy against the Bringer of Chaos. It's the most badass shit ever.
It's just like Revenant Bastila fighting Malik and fighting Nihilus and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, I want that to be an art piece somewhere of Abeloth fighting Luke and Darth Krayt.
For shits and giggles, the Nihilus fight, the first time I ever did that in the game, easy. I was like...
That was easy.
Yeah, for the first time ever in KOTOR 2, I fought Nihilus and beat him very easily. I'm just like, well, that was a little disappointing.
I wish I had that Staples button just... That was easy. The motherfucking devourer of worlds. Goddamn.
I just had to add that in there.
But while this entire climatic fight was going on, other things were happening with Abeloth's two remaining avatars. The avatar that was interacting with Ben Skywalker and Vestera on her homeworld, they go into a climatic duel. And there's a second avatar, which is basically a essence of Abeloth, imprinted in the central computer of the Jedi Temple itself.
Oh.
And long story short...
Okay.
I know. Yeah, basically all of these forces are coming together to fight the remaining avatars of Abeloth, while Luke Skywalker and Krayt are dealing with her actual Force essence.
Okay.
So, long story short... both of the avatars got killed in the real plane, which significantly weakened the Force essence of Abeloth in the Beyond Shadow. And with his weakened power state, Luke Skywalker, I know I shouldn't say his full name, Luke and Krayt, they were about to deliver the killing blow on Abeloth, but in one last retaliation of fuck you, she impaled both of them with her tentacles before they killed her right back.
Okay.
But but let me see if I could get to the exact point. Okay. So yeah, her confrontation with Luke and Krayt, even though the threat of Abeloth was finally extinguished in the galaxy. It's literally like a long-ass D&D campaign at this point.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But, so even though Abeloth has been truly extinguished from the galaxy and all the chaos that she has created, her confrontation with Luke and Krayt left their marks on them, both figuratively and literally.
Okay.
So, like, for example, let's see. Like, she literally made fist-sized holes in their chest before she passed away. But do keep in mind, this is the ethereal plane, so it doesn't affect them in the mortal plane.
Okay.
However, this symbolized a huge mark down on the chest of Luke Skywalker, which, just to give you a perspective, it is Basically, Abeloth leaving behind an essence of her anguish, leaving a dark void on Luke Skywalker, while the rest of his body shone in gold light. Like there's literally a giant ass hole in his presence for the Force.
It's a wound.
Yeah, it's basically a wound in the Force, yes. And
what about Crate?
it doesn't go into detail about Crate, unfortunately, but I definitely know that he has his own mark from Abeloth because she managed to wound the greatest light side user in the galaxy, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
headcanon, Crate and Luke are twinsies with scars.
Well, aside from the spiritual part, Luke Skywalker, from his confrontation with Abeloth on the physical plane, also costed him a rib and a part of a lung.
Oof.
Yeah, so Abeloth did a number on Luke after that.
Well, you could survive without a rib and part of a lung.
That is true, yes. However, her rampage across the galaxy also had dire consequences as the Jedi, as it led the galaxy rife with the dark side. And it once again forced the Jedi to leave Coruscant because, it leaves a giant target on their chest and might as well distance ourselves from the government again because that's what led to this entire thing. But yeah, even though Abeloth was gone, the Jedi Council were convinced that she could recover and return one day because a being that powerful doesn't stay dead forever. Probably not in their life.
Vicious.
Yeah, probably not in their lifetime, granted, but she still could return. And with that, Luke Skywalker gathered together a group of Jedi Knights, which he personally called the Quest Knights, because he was going through records from his old masters, Yoda and Obi-Wan, and he came across the record of the Ones and their confrontation there.
Okay.
And he learned about the artifact called the Mortis Dagger, which is one of the few things that could actually kill a Force wielder.
Well, duh.
And Luke Skywalker gathered together these Jedi Knights to go on a quest to find Mortis and reclaim the Mortis Dagger, in the case Abeloth did return.
Let me guess, that's where the series ends?
Pretty much.
What the fuck?
I think in the novel Crucible, they actually do find Mortis.
Okay.
But still, pretty freaking cool cliffhanger to leave us on.
Yeah, cool cliffhanger, but still, it's a cliffhanger. Who the fuck likes cliffhangers that much?
Legends, apparently, man.
But then, not even months after, it's decanonized, and you'll never know the fucking end.
That's the unfortunate thing, Hannah.
That is bullshit. Fuck you, Disney.
But yes, that is Abeloth. What did you think, Hannah?
I'm speechless. There are so many words I could say, but I'm just, I speechless.
Yeah, Abeloth, she's definitely something. Personally,
She's one scary bitch.
She is one scary bitch. I mean, like, on one end, she's kind of an overpowering presence, and she's kind of meant there to be the intimidating antagonist. That's what a lot of people like to say. Like, Abeloth, she's an eldritch horror, okay. Things are a lot scarier when they're still unknown. And Abeloth still is unknown, so to speak. I mean, like, we know her motivations, kind of, and we know her origin, but we don't know too much about her and what she did in the ancient past of the galaxy.
True, because that's only on the word of the Killix.
Yeah, that is true.
And you can't trust what a Killix says because you don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah, and like, of one aspect, Abeloth, I think it's a lot scarier to imagine Abeloth as a force of nature, an unstoppable force of nature who can't be comprehended.
Yeah.
But I personally like her. She's pretty terrifying. She's got a very creepy design. I do like her sympathetic motivations, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like when she started out, I mean, all she wants is to not be lonely and to have her family back.
Yeah.
That is all she wants. It's very tragic. But because she made the dumb decision out of the goodness of her heart to try and keep her family together, it led to her becoming this horrifying monster.
Yeah. I mean, as I mentioned before, she still fulfilled that purpose, just not the way she was initially thinking of.
Yeah.
And it only lasts for so long since she was condensed in a maw cluster anyway.
Yep.
But, yeah, that is, thank you, Tristan H. I know you kind of threw Abeloth in there as a joke, but I legitimately had fun with this episode.
That turned out so much better than I thought it would. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this. I pleasantly surprised, and Abeloth is up there with one of my new favorite villains now.
Interesting. Okay, just...
Not separate from Sith, but villains.
Yeah, because I always love it when Star Wars dives into villains that aren't Sith. That's way too overplayed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Abeloth, even though she is an aspect of the dark side, she's not a Sith.
True, it's like how Sabaoth, he wasn't a Sith, he was a Dark Jedi.
Yeah.
Thrawn, he wasn't a Force user at fucking all.
Yeah.
And look how much he took over and just the impact he left.
Also, I know it's kind of unfair to compare Abeloth and this one, but that's another reason why I love Cad Bane. Because he's not a powerful Force user, let alone a Sith. He's just a normal dude who's trying to go about his life in the most dangerous way possible.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I have no other word to describe it. It's cool.
But no, I gotta ask, what were your initial impressions before and after the Abeloth episode?
I was going in blind, honestly.
That is fair, yeah.
I went in so blind and not knowing, and now just fucking mind blown.
Yeah. I would pay good money to see Abeloth in action on, I don't know, a video of some kind.
You know, Lucas will never... not Lucas anymore. Kathleen Kennedy will not do that.
Unfortunately, though I've heard a lot of theories that if Ahsoka had a season 2, there might be the indication that they cover Abeloth, since that world they were on had statues of a father and all that.
Fair, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting, yeah.
It would be. Another theory was that Thrawn needs more Force users, so he's gonna find Sabaoth, or maybe it's gonna be Malicos.
Yeah.
So there are all kinds of fucking theories out there.
That is true. Yeah, that is very true. But no, I like I said before, absolutely had fun with this episode, even if I had to skip a couple of important things here and there.
Oh yeah, we were all over the place with this, but holy shit!
Also, kind of wanted to throw this in. Abeloth basically fought everybody in that story series. Like I mentioned, Boba Fett before, the Sith, Darth Krayt.
Didn't fight Leia.
I think she may have fought Leia and Han at some point. I'm not too sure.
A fucking course, why not?
It's the more fucking the Super Smash Bros. Meme. Everybody's here.
Holy
This is literally the end game of Star Wars Legends.
Very true.
Very, very true. But yeah, that is our episode of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi? Or in this case, Yes, Queen!
Yes, Queen, but also,
So glad you had fun with this episode, Hannah. I was a little bit worried, but since I didn't have a personal stake with Abeloth, I'm still pleasantly surprised.
I'm
Just fangirling out a little bit over.
not even fangirling. This isn't like fangirling over Thrawn or Mara or anything.
Yeah.
This is just like, holy shit!
Yeah, Abeloth is definitely something.
That's one way to put it, because I have no other way to put it.
Yeah.
It's just... I'm speechless. Abeloth has left me speechless.
And left a very good impression from the looks of it.
Oh, yeah. If y'all could see my face.
But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, thank you, Tristan H, for throwing in Abeloth. This is a kind of an episode a long time coming. I'll get back to you on the Mandalorian episode. But still, Abeloth is the next best thing. So thank you very much, Tristan.
Yeah, thanks, Tristan. This was great.
This was very great, yeah.
I think if Kit were here, he would have liked this episode.
Yeah, he would have.
He would have been right here with me going, what the fuck?
The meme potential in that. But what ifs?
What are we covering next time?
Oh, boy. I'll have to consult you on that one, but gonna make another blooper. But anyway, once again, before I prattle on a little bit more, thank you everybody so much for watching this episode, and got any closing statements, Hannah?
I'm still kind of dumbfounded. Don't fall into force psychosis, y'all.
Don't fall into force psychosis.
Don't heed a random siren's call in the middle of the Maw Cluster.
Motherfucking Abeloth. Abeloth is the siren of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, the lesson learned, don't listen to a siren call. No matter if it's from an actual siren or through the Force.
I think I found something that's even scarier than a Sith witchling.
I know, right? Oh my god.
Anyway, may the Force be with you, and don't connect your mind with diddling chaos goddesses out there, everybody.
We'll see y'all in the next episode.
Alright, this is the way. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my god.